Hello and welcome to Peak Profits. In today's session, the founders of 7 Peak Capital will share their plan for the podcast and what you can expect to get from it. I'm Chris Ward. I'm joined by Brian Morris, my co-founder. Brian, how are you?
I am very good, Chris. It is a pleasure to kick this off. I know we've talked about this for quite a while, and we're excited to get Peak Profits started and really talk all things investing and passive real estate investing. So excited to kick it off with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we've spoken about a long time. We've seen other people sharing their stories, and we really wanted to focus on how can we help educate people out there the same way we've gone through education ourselves, is listening to multiple different podcasts, whether that's real estate focused, whether that's health focused, whether that's sales focused, whether it's anything focused. I think podcasts is a great way for people to consume content, and that's really what we're here to provide as well. Brian, do you want to just share a little bit about what people can expect, the types of guests that we'll have on the podcast?
Yeah, for sure. And that's a good point. I mean, podcasts seem to be everywhere nowadays about every single different topic that you want to learn about. And I think it's a great informational and educational avenue for people to explore. And us specifically, we've learned a lot from it. And I think we're going to bring on a lot of industry leaders that are in the real estate industry, right? When you're talking about all things multifamily investing, we've grown a great network over the past several years with experts in the industry that are not only purchasing these properties, but purchasing them in different markets throughout the United States, purchasing different asset classes that they focus on. So, Class C, and really upgrading them to Class B and really getting into specifics, right? Maybe some people that are focused on strictly new build Class A's, but also looking maybe potentially at the lending side as well. Like, how are people getting these financing on some of these deals, and how does financing work? And really just all aspects of it to not only educate the listeners, but just really bring on experts in the industries from all types of walks and focuses to really help not only educate the listeners, but educate ourselves too. And I think you never can stop learning, and really interviewing and talking to experts is only going to help us broaden our knowledge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Brian mentioned, it's going to be the people that are the experts, the operators, the investors, capital allocators, general partners, people that manage the debt, the banks. How do you go through? Do you identify a buy right criteria? How do you finance that? How do you ultimately go about it? But also, if you're not interested in doing all of that stuff yourself, how do you identify and find an operator or somebody that you feel comfortable investing in? And that's some of the stuff that Brian and I have gone through ourselves, being part of mastermind groups, doing our own due diligence, investing in our own opportunities as well. So we'll also share our stories, how we've got from really going through our careers to now investing and managing some of this as well ourselves. So it's really part of the overall journey and the story that we want to share with you. We'll also have people sharing some of the lessons they've learned, right? Like, not everything always goes perfectly. So people would do things differently if they were to start again today. So we'll ask people some probably difficult questions, and how would they do things differently? What were the key lessons they've learned? What went really, really successfully and that they wouldn't change? But really, it is there to help educate ourselves and help ultimately educate you and everybody that wants to listen. Brian, is there anything that you would add from a perspective of really the types of people? I know we've mentioned industry experts and people we've partnered with, but there's some key people that you think people should be listening out for, looking for, exciting guests that we might potentially have, or do we want to save some of the excitement for later down the road?
Yeah, I'll leave names out of it specifically as we have people that have committed to the podcast, which is exciting. But specifically, like you said, Chris, right, it's like general partners on deals. And what is a general partner, right? That's someone who's purchasing and actually signing on the debt and the loan. But we're really going to focus on all aspects of real estate investing. So if you're a passive investor, we're going to bring on, limited partners as well. Like, what is your experience like investing in these deals from the passive side, right? Not being on the active management aspect of things. And how are they looking at their portfolio today, being invested in potentially 10 to 15 different properties through different markets? and what is their strategy, right, from shifting from potentially stocks and bonds and some of the other investment avenues to a multifamily or real estate focused portfolio, and why was their strategy to shift that direction, right? What are some of the benefits, right? We'll go into not only right what the returns look like, how to understand a deal, what to look for in underwriting, and what you should be expecting. Benefits from a tax perspective, right? When you're talking about gains in any type of investment, what are the gains? How are the gains taxed? So we're really going to want to share all of this information with not only the listeners, but ourselves and the people that are sharing them, because these are the strategies that we went through, some of the educational avenues that we went down to really understand and pinpoint some of the investments that we've made so far. And while we're doing that, we want to share our stories, right? Both coming from similar backgrounds in sales, both pivoting and understanding that we want to be in real estate on a larger scale. And we've talked to a lot of people that have done this. And ideally, we're trying to learn from people that are 10, 15, 20 years ahead of us where they are in their journeys. And I think there's a ton that you can take from in talking to people. And so I'm looking forward to leveraging this platform to really just get people on that are well educated, right? Not only just talking about the highs, but the lows. What can we learn from it? Really fast track our education and our success in this industry around other people's experiences as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we're going to plan to have a lot of these episodes coming out, and so we're whether it's just both Chris and I interviewing somebody, whether it's a team of partners that we're going to be interviewing an individual. I'm really looking forward to doing this, and I think this will provide a lot of benefit for not only us but our guests moving forward.
Yeah, and I think the key thing here is when you mentioned the highs and lows, the real estate industry has gone through highs and lows very, very drastically over the last few years. So where a lot of people were making really, really good money, whether it's in single families, multi-families, with the interest rate changes, a lot has changed in how everything operates. So we're in that market cycle right now where we are seeing highs and lows at the same time. And we want to share what some of those lessons ultimately are, what you should be looking out for, so that every investment you are making, or whether you are ultimately operating or want to move into operating smaller multifamilies, larger multifamilies, you can start to think of all of those key things and let the people that have been there, that have done it, reinventing the wheel. There's no need to do that, right? It's all important to take on from mentors and other people that have been there and done it, and take their lessons and apply those actively yourselves. We'll also have people that are right at the beginning of their journey as well. So it's not just always going to be the experts. We'll have people share what they've gone through. Maybe they've invested in their first passive investment, and now they ultimately want to share what their story is and why they want to continue doing that. So we are going to have a range of different people from different areas of the multifamily world. But ultimately, Peak Profits is going to be a multifamily real estate podcast, and we're extremely excited to bring multiple episodes to you.
No, I couldn't agree more. So I'm glad we got the first episode here, more of an intro, right? And I know in the coming weeks and months we'll have guests lined up, and so we're excited to get on and start releasing these and talk in more detail. So if you're interested as well at coming on the podcast and you're in the real estate industry or investing industry, reach out to us. We're happy to have all types of different guests on to share their stories and their journeys and what they would do again and maybe what they wouldn't do again. We're all learning from each other here. So excited to do this and hop on, and we'll see you again soon on the next episode of Peak Profits.